guys, what's up? This is Kristin Corpos, and I have a few more sales tax tips to help you out when it comes to dealing with more complex sales tax transactions. All right, number one, have your clients pick up their products at your studio versus shipping them to them. Now, this is a great option for those of you that live in a state where there's either no sales tax or a state where the law requires you to calculate the sales tax rate at the ship-to location when shipping items to clients, right? So a good example of this is a photographer I know whose photography business is physically located in New Hampshire. So while she shoots in New Hampshire, she also shoots a bunch of weddings in Massachusetts, Maine, and elsewhere. But every item a client gets from her must be picked up at her studio in New Hampshire. And guess what? This means that she charges no sales tax on her transactions. That's because there's no sales tax in New Hampshire. Now, even if she photographs a wedding in Massachusetts, if her clients visit her studio located in New Hampshire to pick up their album and all their tangible products, they will not have to pay any sales tax. Now, this is because the transaction for sales tax calculation purposes is taking place in New Hampshire. Again, state laws may vary, but this works for those types of situations. Another good example involves a California photographer who, for example, if every client comes to the photographer's studio to pick up their tangible items, such as a flash drive of images, the wedding album, then that photographer, they can charge the rate of tax that applies at the location of their business. So if the studio is located at 100 Main Street, San Francisco, tax rate calculated will be at that location's rate. Now this photographer now doesn't have to worry about calculating tax or knowing what the various tax rates are throughout the state of California where their clients may live and outside of their county. All right, so that's a great way to keep things simple. And in some cases, it can be less expensive for both you, the photographer, and the compliance headache and your clients. And it's completely legit. All right, number two, send a letter to your state and local tax agency to ask for written guidance or advice on how sales tax applies to your specific transaction. Yes, you heard that right. You can send them a letter. Now, your sales tax agency, Department of Revenue, asks them to comment on your question. Now, a warning though, it may take some time to get a response back. Sometimes it can take as much as 6 months and maybe even a year, depending on the state. Basically, nearly all tax agencies have an address to which you can submit a question. That's good. So in return, they're going to provide you with a formal response via written guidance. And sometimes you can locate their mailing address on their website, but if you can't find it, give them a call in their help number, ask for it, and they'll give it to you. And so a really good example of the importance of written advice is in California. In California, you have the right to ask for written advice as to how tax applies to a particular type of a transaction. And guess what? If you rely on written advice from them that is later found to be in error, you may be excused from paying tax liabilities that are directly related to that erroneous advice they gave you. So if you do send a letter to a tax agency, make sure that you include a complete statement of all the facts related to the activity of the transaction in question, because you want to be super specific, detailed, and clear so they can answer you. All right, tip number three, voluntary disclosure programs. If you just read that sales tax article and you're freaked out because you realize you should be collecting tax in a state where you're not right now, then look into whether that state has a voluntary disclosure program. Voluntary disclosure it's just what it sounds like. It allows you to come forward and report previously unpaid sales taxes in a user-friendly, informal process. So you have to qualify for the program under the state rules if your state has it. But there are definitely some benefits if your state has it. You can come forward anonymously, which is really nice. The penalties and interest may even be waived, and generally there is a limited look-back period, which means that a look-back period is how far back the agency can look into your transaction. So if it's limited, that's very good for you. Do a Google search for voluntary disclosure and your state name, and you'll definitely find more information on the topic and what steps you're going to need to take to apply for the program if they have it in your state. All right, tip number four, the last one, hiring a tax professional. After all this discussion about these more complex sales tax topics, you're probably considering hiring someone for help, right? I mean, your head's probably spinning. I'm sorry, but you probably want to hire someone. Makes sense, and I think it's a great idea to get help from an expert in this area. Now, this stuff can be hard, and if you aren't sure about something, be proactive about getting the answers you need. There are tax professionals, such as accountants and lawyers out there, that can help you. Now, when you're searching for the right tax professional, you need to be sure that you hire someone who is familiar with photographers and their business. That's very, very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. Accountants are often expected to be a jack of all trades, and most of the time they're really strong in income tax, not so strong in sales tax. While some are amazing, some just don't have a grasp of the issues that you face in your photography business, and worse yet, like I said, they have no clue about sales tax. So be sure that you hire an accountant that understands your business and knows sales tax. Don't just assume that because they are an accountant or they are an attorney that they know everything they need to in order to help you and your business stay safe and protected. So while I'm on the topic, I want to state that this video was only meant to provide general educational information on the subject of sales tax. It should not be taken as legal advice. This is not legal advice, general information. I certainly, and you do not have an attorney-client relationship from any of this information that I shared with you. So if you have questions, go and seek the advice of a professional that's in your state that knows your specific details and can assist you directly. So I hope these tips were helpful. And a final statement, sales tax is no joke. Don't just wing it and hope for the best, because as a business owner, you need to figure out what you need to know so that you can operate with the confidence that you're doing things the right way. And believe me, it feels so much better living your life that way, feeling like you're doing things the right way, than being scared that you're doing them the wrong way. So take care. My name is Kristin Corpus. Thanks for checking out this video.